Good morning. Happy wake and bake. Okay, so the Myrtle trial is today, so I gotta get right into this because it's almost time. So take your pills, get your wake up beverage, and then we gotta read this. It might take a long time. Okay. On that day, Jesus went out of the house and sat down by the sea. Okay, so Jesus went outside and went and sat by the water. I wish I could do this. I wish I could go outside and sit by the water. Such large crowds gathered around him that he got into a boat. Jesus on a boat. He's on a boat. Listen, okay. And he went on the boat and sat down, and the whole crowd stood along the shore. I kind of wonder how Jesus went to the bathroom. And did people go in after him to smell his shit? That's a stupid question, I know, but did they? I bet they did. And he spoke to them at length in parables. Okay, but why? Nikki, this is why it takes so long. You talk too fucking much. Okay. So he spoke to them at length in parables. So he used riddles. And I wonder if that was riddles to confuse the people that were there just to be in the crowd. People who didn't believe but just was there, kind of like the Sadducees and Pharisees. Although it seems to only be the Pharisees, not so much the Sadducees, but the Pharisees. So if you ever meet a Pharisee, tell them that they killed Jesus. Okay. And then he said, a sower went to sow. And as he sowed, some seed fell on the path, and the birds came and ate it. And some fell on the rocky ground, where it had little soil. It sprung up at once because the soil was not deep, and when the sun rose, it was scorched, and it withered for lack of roots. Some seed fell among the thorns, and the thorns grew up and choked it. They was like, ugh. And some seeds fell on rich soil and produced fruit 100 or 60, maybe even 30-fold. Why did he say this backwards though? For real. He said this backwards. I don't know why. Whoever has ears ought to hear. Yeah, if you hear me, hear me. I will be right back. Okay. Purpose of parables. All right, let's hear. And the disciples approached him and said, why do you speak to them in parables? Like you know they're not going to understand anything you're fucking saying. So why do you even say it? And then he was like, because knowledge of the mysteries have been granted to you, but to them it has not been granted. Nobody ever taught them, dude. Shut up. Okay. To anyone who has more, and I think he's talking about knowledge. So anyone who has more will be given, and he will grow rich. From anyone who has not had knowledge, even what he has will be taken away. Okay, anyone who has not received the knowledge, even what he has will be taken away. Anyone who has not, okay, wait a minute. Because knowledge of the mysteries have been given to you, but to them it has not been granted. Oh, hold on, it has not been granted. So was knowledge not taught to them? Okay. And to anyone who has more, okay, to anyone who has been granted knowledge, more will be given, and he will grow rich. From anyone who has not, I guess, been granted wisdom, even what he has will be taken away. Okay, so anyone who has not been granted the knowledge to understand, I don't understand. I don't get it. Am I supposed to understand what this means? Oh my God! Has wisdom not been granted to me? Is that why I don't understand what the hell this means? Is it over my head? Hold on. Because knowledge of the mysteries of the kingdom has been granted to you, but to them it has not been granted. So, because you're learned, knowledge has been granted, but to them, knowledge has not been granted. Yeah, I think it's because nobody taught them. And anyone who has knowledge, he will grow rich. From anyone who has not, even what he has will be taken away. Okay. Okay. This is why I speak to them in parables. Because they look, but do not see, and hear, but do not listen or understand. Okay. So you hear it, but you do not listen to what it means. Okay. So again, this is for some people. Isaiah's prophecy is fulfilled in them, which says, "You shall indeed hear, but not understand. You shall indeed look, but never see." You know how infuriating it is to live with people like this? Well, you probably do. Gross is the heart of this people. Yes, and it always will be. In the future, it's the same. They will hardly hear with their ears. They have closed their eyes and wrote a different book, lest they see with their eyes and hear with their ears and understand with their heart and be converted, and I heal them. Okay. So those who hear and see. Okay. So those who understand that Jesus is there, right? What? Come on. Come on. Come on. Okay. I know. Okay. Okay. The privilege of discipleship. But blessed are your eyes because they see, and your ears because they hear. Amen. I say unto you, many prophets and righteous people long to see what you see, but did not see, and hear what you hear, but did not hear it. Listen, you can't get on there. Go on, you can't get on there. But you're in the way. Blue, you're in the way. Okay. A Many prophets and righteous people long to see what you see, but did not see, and hear what you hear, but did not hear it. Yeah, but that's on purpose. They do that on purpose because these people love being stupid on purpose. The explanation of this the explanation of the parable of the sower. Hear then the parable of the sower. Okay, so he's saying this to his prophets, or to his disciples, I mean. The seed sown on the path is the one who hears without understanding, and the evil one comes and steals away what was sown in his heart. The seed sown on rocky ground is the one who hears the word and receives it at once with joy, but has no root, and it lasts only for a time. A day. It lasts for a day. When some tribulation or persecution comes because of the word, he immediately falls away. I wonder if he was looking at Peter when he said this. We don't know about Peter yet, Nikki. Shut the fuck up. The seed sown among the thorns is one who hears the word, but then worldly anxiety and the lure of riches choke the word, and it bears no fruit. That happens. That happens. Spiritual warfare scares the shit out of people. Yes, it's the spiritual warfare. But the seed sown on rich soil is the one who hears the word, understands it, who indeed bears fruit and yields 160 or 30-fold. Why does he say this backwards? Parable of the weeds among the wheat. Okay. Then he proposed another parable to them. The kingdom of heaven may be likened to a man who sowed good seeds in his field. While everyone was asleep, the enemy came and sowed weed all throughout the wheat and then went off. When the crop grew and bore fruit, the weed appeared as well. Then the slaves of the householder came to him and said, dude, there's a whole bunch of weed growing, dude. Like, there's not, I don't know. It's like a whole thing. Like, who grew weed in your wheat? Like, shit, what do we do? Do we pull them up? And he's like, nah. An enemy probably did that. Leave leave the weed, because if you pull it up, you're going to ruin my wheat. So let them grow up together. Let's see what we can do. And then, like, bundle all the, at the end, when everything's fully grown, bundle the weed up and we'll burn it in the fire. We will all get smashed. Right? And then put the weed into the barn and we'll have some food. The parable of the mustard seed. Okay, I've heard a lot about this mustard seed. Okay, I've never read it before, so we're about to read it. And it says, he proposed another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed. I believe in the Biblay, the original Biblay, it says, heaven is like that of a mustard seed. Okay? And so it's not a mustard seed, it's like a mustard seed. And if we, hold that thought. Okay. A person took and sowed it in a field. It is the smallest of all the seeds, yet when full grown, it is the largest of the plants. It becomes a large bush, and the birds of the sky come and dwell in its branches. Okay. So would that be something like the thought of heaven starts really small, like the idea, and then boom, I guess when you die, it's full grown, and then heaven is like the best, biggest place ever. Okay. Parable of the yeast. And I don't exactly know if that's what that means, but I'm assuming that's what that means. I don't know. What does it mean to you? Okay. And then he spoke to them in another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like yeast. Is like yeast that a woman took and mixed with 3 measures of wheat until the whole batch was leavened. I don't know what this means. And it says, the use of parables. All things Jesus spoke to the crowds in parables. He spoke to them only in parables to fulfill what has been written or what has been said through the prophet. What prophet? I will open my mouth in parables. I will announce what has laid hidden from the foundation of the world. Explanation of the parable of the weed. When dismissing the crowds, he went into the house. His disciples approached him and said, the fuck does all this mean, dude? What does it mean? And he said, he who sows good seed is me. The field is the world. The good seed, the children of the kingdom. The weeds are the children of the evil one. The enemy who sows them is the devil. The devil. Do you know what movie that's from? The harvest is the end of the age, and the harvesters are the angels. I think you meant to say slaves there, Jesus. And the harvesters are, well, and the slaves are angels, is what that should say. Just as weeds are collected and burned up with fire, so will it be at the end of the age. The Son of Man will send his angels, and they will collect out of his kingdom all who cause others to sin and all evildoers. They will throw them into the fiery furnace, where there will be wailing and grinding of teeth. This should say wailing, gnashing, and grinding of teeth. When then the righteous ones will shine like the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Whoever has ears ought to hear. Dun, dun, dun. More parables. The kingdom of heaven is like a treasure buried in a field, which a person finds and hides again, and out of joy goes and sells all he has and buys that field because he found treasure in it. Okay. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant searching for fine pearls. Dun, dun, dun. When he finds a pearl of great price, he goes and sells all that he has and buys it. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a net thrown into the sea, which collects fish of every kind. When it is full, they haul it to shore and sit down to put what is good into buckets, and what is bad they throw away. Thus, it will be at the end of the age, the angels will go out and separate the wicked from the righteous. Okay. And throw them into a fiery furnace where there will be wailing and grinding of teeth. This should say gnashing, wailing, gnashing, and grinding of teeth. Which that grinding of teeth, that ends up hurting after a while. Treasures, new and old. Do you understand all these things? They answered yes. The answer to that is no. No, you don't understand, because what the fuck? You asked them to tell you what it meant. And he replied, then every scribe who has been instructed in the kingdom is like the head of a household who brings from his storeroom both the new and the old. When Jesus finished these parables, he went away from there. So, did he leave on the boat? Or was he still on the boat? Is he in a boat? Jesus, the kingdom, and the church. The rejection at Nazareth. Okay. Now, this is where Jesus lived. This is where Jesus was from. And he says, it says, he came to his native place and taught the people in their synagogue. They were astonished and said, Where did this man get such wisdom and mighty deeds? Is he not the carpenter's son? Is not his mother named Mary, and his brothers James, Joe, Simon, and Judas? These are his prophets. So how would they know? So were Jesus's real life brothers these four? Judas was Jesus' brother. Very, very interesting. Are not his sisters all with us? Where did this man get all of this? Jesus had sisters. What the fuck? James, Joseph, Simon, and Judas. Okay. And they took offense at him. But Jesus said, a prophet is not without honor except in his native place and in his own house. No, Jesus, that was only you. It was only you. It wasn't until the end for all these other prophets where people were like, kill him. But that was only like one or two times, maybe one time. But I believe the prophet was saved. And he did not work many mighty deeds there because of their lack of faith. All right, give me 1 second. I will be right back. Okay, so we're moving on. That's a pretty okay song. It's by a guy called the dude that sings the thong song, Cisco, and a chick named Maya. So I'm moving on. Okay. Are we at the right one? Parable of the sower. Okay. Here we go. Herod's opinion of Jesus. Let's see what this dick fuck says. At the time, Herod, the tetrarch, tetrarch. I don't know. I don't know what this word is. He heard of the reputation of Jesus. I thought Herod was already dead. What is this? I thought this guy was already dead because he killed the babies. And Jesus left Egypt because Herod was dead. Okay. Whatever. And said to his servants, this man is John the Baptist. He has been raised from the dead. That is why mighty powers are at work in him. Here we go. The death of John the Baptist. Okay, let's see. Now, Herod had arrested John, bound him, put him in prison on account of Herodias. Herodias. I don't know. But anyway, she was the wife of his brother Philip. Whose brother Philip, though? Herod had arrested John on account of Herodias, the wife of his brother Philip. For John had said to him, "It is not lawful for you to have her." Oh, John's brother Philip. Oh, what a dick ass. Oh, that's fucked up. John the Baptist said, "Don't even know this is bad." And then his brother Philip was like, "Herod, I know where the Baptist is." What a dick. Although he wanted to kill him, he feared the people, for they regarded him as a prophet. Oh my God. But a birthday celebration for Herod, the daughter of Herodias, performed a dance before the guests and delighted Herod. So his niece grows, so much that he swore to give her whatever she asked for. Prompted by her mother, she said, "Give me here on a platter the head of John le Baptiste." The king was distressed, but because of his oaths and the guests who were present, he ordered that it be given. And he had John beheaded in the prison. His head was brought in on a platter and given to the girl, who took it to her mother. His disciples came and took away the corpse and buried him and went and told Jesus. Oh man. This is the return of the 12 and the feeding of the 5,000. When Jesus heard of it, he withdrew in a boat. Jesus on a boat. So he went to a deserted place by himself. The crowds heard of this and followed him on foot from their towns. Oh my God. What are you people looking for? You followed him on foot, but for why? Can you not handle your own life problems That's the point of Jesus, asshole. That's right, that is the point of Jesus. Man, I'm a fucking asshole. I need to remember what you're doing. Okay. When he disembarked and saw the vast crowd, his heart was moved with pity for them, and he cured their sick. Don't have pity on these people. All they want is for somebody else to do something for them. They're codependent and they're gross. Isaiah was right, they're gross. When it was evening, the disciples approached him and said, "This is a deserted place, and it is already late. Dismiss the crowd so they can go to the villages and buy food for themselves." And Jesus was like, "The fuck? They're not going anywhere. Go give them some food." But they said to him, 5 loaves and 2 fish are all we have." And he said, "Give them to me." And he ordered the crowds to sit down, taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, and looking to heaven, and he said, He said a blessing and broke the loaves and gave them to the disciples, who in turn gave them to the crowds. They all ate and were satisfied, and they picked up the fragments left over, 12 wicker baskets. Who ate were about 5,000 men, not counting the women and children. The walking on the water. Okay, so when we were talking about the first boat in the beginning, and Jesus was like, "You of little faith," and I was like, this is a story. No, apparently, this is the story. Okay. Then he made the disciples get into the boat. He's like, "We're on a boat, get in the boat." So they put on some T-Pain and got in the boat. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. There was no T-Pain. He made the disciples get into the boat and preceded him to the other side while he dismissed the crowds. Okay, so they got in their own boat, and Jesus was like, "I'll meet you there." It's tight. After doing so, he went up on the mountain by himself to pray. When it was evening, he was there alone. Good, maybe he can finally take a dookie. You people are so disrespectful. Give the man a minute. Meanwhile, the boat, already a few miles offshore, was being tossed about by the waters, for the wind was against it. During the fourth watch of the night, he came toward them, walking on the sea. Look at that. Okay. When the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were terrified. "It is a ghost," they said, and they cried out in fear, "Oh my God, Jesus!" Right? Jesus is a ghost. Oh, we let him die. At once, Jesus said, "Chill the fuck out." And Peter said, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." Look, Peter, once again, we don't know about Peter yet. I got my opinions. He said, "Come on, Peter, get the fuck out of the boat and come on. You want to come? Come on." But when he saw how strong the wind was, he became frightened, and beginning to sink, he cried out, "Oh, Lord, save me. I'm such a girl." Immediately, Jesus stretched out his hand and caught him and said, "The fuck is wrong with you? You know who I am. What are you doing?" Why you scared? Why you being a girl? After they got back into the boat, the wind died down. I bet Peter was like, "Why couldn't you do that when I was in the water?" I would have. Those who were in the boat did him homage, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God." So, what does this mean? Doing the face thing? Oh, healings at Gennesaret. After making the crossing, they came to land at Gennesaret. When men of that place recognized him, they sent word, "You can't trust a Jew." Okay. So they went to everybody who was sick and begged him that they might touch only the the tassel on his cloak, and as many as touched it were healed. Dun dun dun. All right. So That's that. How long did we do? Oh my God, 40 minutes. Okay. Maybe we can do another chapter, right? Let's see. Let's see how long this one is. Oh my God. This. Why does it take so long? Oh, okay. Okay, there's like 40 verses. Okay, give me a second. Okay. I lied about doing the next one because the Murdaugh trial is starting and I really do want to watch that. So I can't read another one. I don't have time. Why is my computer about to die? And apparently I gotta fix shit. So I love you. Thank you for watching. And I will be back tonight with chapter 15. So thank you. I love you and have the greatest day ever.